for joining me today. I want to show you a really fun project using edible images. We've always provided custom edible images in the Nashville location at SweetWise. We now offer them online. So what you want to do is go to the website. It's sweetwise.com. Put in the search bar edible image. What's going to pop up is several options, and you're going to choose custom edible image. There you're going to be able to load your image, send it to us. We're going to be able to print it and then ship it out to you. It'll guide you through the steps. It's pretty easy. So here what I've done, the project I'm going to do is actually a topper. Now when you see custom edible images, typically you're used to seeing like maybe a baseball team flat on top of a cake. What I'm going to do with this is stand it upright like it's a topper coming out of the top of a cake. That would be great for, say, a birthday. Maybe you can do a couple's engagement picture for an engagement party, something like that. Here I've got a picture of my handsome nephew. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a craft knife here, and I want to cut out the background. It's a lot easier than you might think. So I already got it started going around his head, but you want to make sure that you get really, really tight. Make sure you don't cut off ears. If you have like a female that has like long hair, make sure you get that in there. And you can also always go back and trim it up. And like I said, I have most of this done already. Let me do the base here. So what this is going to do is basically just cut out the person, and you can get really great effects with this, kind of like a 3D. What I'm going to do here in a few minutes is cut out a backdrop as well. All right, that's releasing really nicely. Now whenever you're not using these, like whatever you have left, I have extra here just in case I mess up. Whenever you're not using them, make sure that you put them back inside the bag and seal it tight just to keep the air out. You don't need to refrigerate these. Make sure they don't get hot. Just make sure they're at room temperature is good. So what you've got here is kind of a flexible, papery type substance. This is basically a dehydrated frosting. So for the purpose that I want to use, I want to stand it upright on top of this cake. I need to put some kind of backer behind it so it doesn't wilt, so it doesn't crack once it dries. Okay, so what I'm going to do is roll out some gum paste really thin, and then we're going to adhere it to the back. Okay, so I rolled out some gum paste. It's kind of thick, about a 1/4 inch thick. If you're going to do it this thick, you want to give it like maybe 2 days to dry. I did a sample beforehand that's about 1/8 of an inch thick, and I only gave it 1 night to dry, and it seems like it's going to do pretty well. So I'm going to get my image back out, and what I'm going to do is take a little bit of clear piping gel, and I'm just going to kind of brush really delicately along the back of the image just to make sure it's going to adhere to my gum paste. I just want to make sure that I get my edges and a little bit in the center. Don't have to necessarily do the whole thing. Okay, so that's ready to apply. Just lay it on the gum paste. And you have a few minutes to kind of rub that on, get it nice and smooth and flat. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the same craft knife I was using before, and I'm going to cut right around where I had cut before. This part will go a little bit more easily because you already have the basic shape done. And it's okay if a little shows behind it. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick this up and I'm going to lay it on either some powdered sugar or cornstarch, just nice and flat to dry for several days. So this one's a little bit thinner than this one, so I only let this dry overnight. It's ready to go. It's good and firm. So I'm just going to lay it face down, and what I'm going to do is attach an apple stick to it so that it can stand upright on the cake. Now the easiest thing to do, you could use all kinds of things, royal icing, maybe some chocolate, that sort of thing. But what I like to do is something that's going to dry right away. So I just use like a clear isomalt. You could use like a candy, like a Jolly Rancher or something like that, Lifesaver, and just pop it in the microwave until it melts. So I'm just going to get it about halfway of the height of the image, put a pretty good coating on there, and then just adhere it to the back. And you're just going to leave that there for like 2 or 3 minutes until it fully sets up, and then it's going to be ready to insert into the cake. While that one's setting up, I'm going to do actually a backdrop behind it. This is going to be really fun. And let me suggest maybe for a birthday party, if you have a figure you've done upright like this, you can do a backdrop like balloons, or even like, you know, one of the things like they're on the red carpet and there's like a logo behind them, that sort of thing. This one's just kind of a graduate picture. So I'm going to peel off my paper and put it face down again. And this is just another option if you're kind of not into the gum paste. This is just a white chocolate. I use the SweetWise melting wafers for this. And I'm going to actually put 2 coats on here. So the first one I'm just going to kind of spread nice and thin and let it dry. And then I'm going to go back and add a second one, just so it has a nice base to stand upright without cracking and worrying about not standing upright. This is kind of a good thing if you don't have the 2 days to wait to let that gum paste dry as well. Okay, so that first coat had set up, and I'm just now finishing up my second coat. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and attach my skewer to this part now, so that it just has a nice amount of time to dry. And I'm just going to pop this in the fridge for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll be set to put it on the cake. So I just pulled this out of the freezer and it's ready to go. Again, this is my backdrop with the white chocolate as the support. And again, the skewer is attached, so it's ready to go in here. I'm using a styrofoam dummy here today, and I went ahead and pressed the holes in there with another stick. So when you're using a real cake, it's going to be a lot easier to get that in there. So that's my backdrop. And then here's my nephew with the stick on there ready to go, nice and firm. And he's going to go right in front like he's got his backdrop going on. And then you can embellish with like some ribbons or something like that. So that's our finished project, just a different kind of twist on the edible images and how to use them as a cake topper that kind of pops out of the cake. If you want to do one of these yourself, just go to the SweetWise website and upload your photo under custom edible image, and we will get that printed off and shipped to you, and you're going to have a great looking cake too. Thanks for watching.